Good morning, class. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day. Today's Friday, April 3rd. We're almost done with week 1 of distance learning, and I'm so excited to finish the week strong with you guys. What we're going to be doing in this video is reviewing your study guide. So at this time, if you can get that out and turn to question 35. Question 35 was asking you to be comparing and contrasting the beliefs and traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Okay, we talked about this. We spent a whole unit on this. Specifically, we spent Unit 2 focusing on religions. And so let's go ahead and get into this, starting in the middle with the similarities. And so I want us to focus on, sorry, I have to see my hand there. Want us to focus on what is similar between the three religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. First thing you should have written down definitely should have been monotheism. And that is, again, belief. In one God, right? Another thing you should have put in there is that they are all based on the Book of Abraham. Which is rooted in the Middle East. Going to be their cultural hearth. They believe in the same God. They value prayer, fasting, and charity. Jerusalem is considered to be a holy city. And so that should do it for the similarities between the three religions. Going down or up to the top right for Christianity. I'm going to start with their religious symbol, the crucifix. Major holidays include Christmas, Easter, place of worship is called a church. We read the Bible. I say we because I was raised a Christian. Crucifix, Christmas, Easter, church, Bible. They speak a variety of languages, but obviously in the United States it's mainly going to be English. Jesus, a big thing here is Jesus is the Messiah. If you don't remember what Messiah means, that means Savior. Holy text is called the Bible. We refer to the deity as God. This is because of the language, right? Going over to the left, let's go ahead and do Judaism. Starting with the symbol, it's a triangle, and then upside down triangle. This is called the Star of David. Holidays include Hanukkah, Yom Kippur. Their place of worship is called a temple. Their holy text is called the Torah. Okay. Interesting is Jews, that's the name of the followers, do not believe Jesus is the Messiah. He's just another prophet. Apologize, my son's waking up from his nap apparently. And so Jesus is not the Messiah. They believe the Messiah has not arrived yet. Okay. They speak Hebrew, their ancient language. They experience something called diaspora. They got scattered around the world due to religious persecution or conflict. The way to become a Jew is through marriage and family. Now, some similarities between Jews and Christians is that they both believe in the Old and follow the Old Testament, which includes things is where we get our 10 Commandments. Okay. Now we're going to go down to Islam. Crescent, moon, and star. Is their religious symbol, and it's a mix of different tribes that merge together to make Islam. And what the followers are called are Muslims. They read the Quran, or Quran, depends on how you want to spell it, and their place of worship is in a mosque. Holidays include Ramadan. This is a month of fasting, also known as the Festival of Lights. This is a very important holiday in Islam. They follow the 5 pillars of Islam. These are kind of like the 10 Commandments. Okay, an interesting thing here is Muhammad is the guy they considered. Muhammad is their main prophet, or some consider him the last prophet. A similarity between the Muslims and Christians is that they both seek converts, where Jews don't really do that. It's mainly by marriage. Seek converts, Another thing is that conquest has been a big part of the history of Christianity and Islam, where Jews have not conquered as many people or converted as many people because of their religion. Here we see that happening. I forgot to mention, well, actually, we haven't done that one. Let's go to move over here to the left with Jews and Muslim similarity is that they both claim Israel / Palestine or Palestine as homeland. There's a huge war conflict that's been going on because of this. They also both believe that Jesus is just another prophet. Okay, and that's pretty much what I have so far. If there's anything else you think you could add to any of the sections here on question 35, feel free to do so, but make sure yours responses match mine or look similar to mine. Here they are in their glory. Moving on to the next page. It's asking for you to define renewable and non-renewable resources, and we went over this if you use your buddy. We define renewable resources as resources that can be reused, renewed, right? Or non-renewable, just like the name is going to be things that cannot be reused. In the table below, give 3 examples of both renewable and non-renewable resources. And so one renewable resource we can talk about is water or hydroelectric energy. Then we have wind. Then we have, there's another one I was just thinking about. Now I have solar. Okay. Non-renewable are going to be things like coal, oil, and natural gas. Some images you can draw, like coal that you would use in a barbecue pit, right? Go Cowboys. Big boys. Then we have oil. You can draw a barrel of oil or just a black drop. Okay. Another one could be natural gas. I like to draw a flame for this because this is often used on stoves. And cooking, right? So just a flame. Now the question's asking, why is the rainforest sometimes called the lungs of the earth? Now the rainforest is called the lungs of the earth is because of the amount of oxygen The rainforest is also known as a very biodiverse place. It's asking, what does this mean? So biodiversity different types of plants and animals, right? So there's a variety of plants and animals, and that equals biodiversity. The word diversity means different variety, where bio is plants and animals, right? What is a coral reef? Coral reef is basically a giant organism, a collection of organisms that not only serve as a living, breathing thing, but is an ecosystem for a lot of other living and breathing things. And why is it in danger? Well, sea temperatures rising, and this is due to pollution, over production and exploitation, like tourism, and climate change. Now, how are rising sea levels affecting people around the world? We can see flooding, extreme weather, example, Australia. Okay, turn the page. It's asking for you to basically explain how each landform is going to affect population density. Now, what is population density? If you don't remember from in class this year, population density is basically the amount of people living in an area. Now, here we can see the landform, a river is going to have a high population density because people like to live near water. It's good for transportation and growing crops, and so it's a really good place to live. Mountains is going to have low population density. That's because it's going to be difficult for transportation / growing crops. Okay, it's just not going to be easy. Just getting to school would be hard for people living on a mountain. Desert, similar low. Sorry, you can hear my son in the back there singing. Density, really low population density. That's because, again, difficult transportation across large, vast, dry areas, and since there's no water, growing crops will be nearly impossible. Plains are going to have high population density, and this is going to be because it's good for not just growing crops, but transportation as well. Housing, building materials. Here we can see a diagram with materials on the left for different types of houses in different regions around the world. And so the question's asking, what conclusion or inference can you make based on the information presented in this table above? And one thing that I came to the conclusion is, or one thing that I can inference is that each region seems to require different materials for their region's climate. Or each region's climate therefore requires different types of material for the homes, right? Each region's climate weather determine what is required to build a safe and comfy home. And so I should write something similar. I can inference that different regions around the world require different materials, right? Now, the second part of the question is asking what seems to affect the type of house people have. So here, if we look, we can see wood, Eurasia, U.S. Pacific Coast, North America, Australia, Brazil, Chile, stone in Europe, Egypt, India, Western China, Mexico, grass and brush in the low latitude regions like Africa, savanna. Okay, so we can see these hot regions are using a grass and brush type material. Poles and sticks, Africa, Southeast Asia, Western Africa, Amazon. Sun-dried brick, more traditional note. So one thing that I'm noticing is that in these more arid regions, more difficult regions, so I'm going to go ahead and note the type of landforms and regions or climate and atmosphere is going to be in each region, so we can see the difference, right? So here we're going to see plains, we see some mountains, we see a lot of forests, okay? And if we think about it, it's near water, right? All these places. Same thing for places like here, with the exception of maybe Egypt. Egypt having more deserts, but it is near a water source. Where here in Africa, in the savannah, we're going to see more dry, hot weather, right? More deserts. So this is going to be low population density, sorry. It's going to be high population density. Poles and sticks in places like Africa, again, same thing, dry, hot, difficult climates, humid in some areas like the Amazon, difficult, low population areas. Oven-baked brick, and these are going to be modern contemporary areas in more developed countries. Sun-dried brick in the Middle East, Middle Eastern. So again, we're going to see that the population is going to be low in these areas versus over here in more developed, high population. And so one thing that that seems to be affecting it is the region itself. So each region, climate is affecting the materials required. So I'm gonna put slash available because that's really what's affecting is that maybe in North America there's a lot of wood that's available to be used, right? Another thing I'm seeing is that the higher the population density, the better the house, or the more sound the structure, right? It's not made of straw or sticks, it's made of brick or stone, right? And this goes back to development, right? So the more developed a place is, the better materials available. Moving on to 45. We're actually going to skip this one, but here's a colored map. This is what you should have done. Circle a mountain range, put a box around a river, and so a mountain range would have been something like this. Okay, and you should have put a box around a river, so here's a river. Put a star on a plains region. Okay, so here in North America we have the Great Plains here. Put an X on an island. Here we have Cuba, Caribbean island. Okay, and so this is all you needed to do here, just testing to see if you can identify different places. Now here's where we're getting into part of the year where we didn't review too much on, and that's the three branches of government. And so the first branch I want you to remember is the legislative. This is called Congress. This includes the Senate and the House of Representatives. Made a mistake. Should have started with a different branch, but that's okay. I'm just going to make the correction, and I'm going to put writes the laws. Okay. I'll put this one at the bottom. Enforces laws. Jumped the gun there. Sorry about that. Enforces laws is going to be executive. Remember the trick I taught you is the L, laws. So they write laws. It's their main job. Judicial's main job is going to be to judge the laws as either constitutional or unconstitutional. Okay. Who's there? Well, we have the Supreme Court. And we have the state/local court. Apologies for the bad handwriting. Executive branch is going to include the President of the United States and his Vice President, the cabinet members, basically all the head honchos of each department and organization underneath the president, who's in charge of enforcing the laws. I want to put a star here and put mayors/governors are considered a part of this branch. 47 is asking, why is freedom of the press important to maintain a free country? Well, it helps maintain checks and balance. Keeps the peeps informed, keeps the people informed. Ensures the government is limited. Okay. Number 48 is going to be asking, how is democracy different from a monarchy? Lists at least three differences. So we're going to have voting rights. No king or queen. And limited government. Okay. Explain how art and poetry can be used to make change in society. Well, it can be influential. So it can influence the society, motivate, inspire, could spark something to happen. Could move people. Could serve as a shared experience, right? Sorry, my son's in the back, and if you heard the toilet, it was because he's potty training. So yay, my son's learning how to use the restroom. That concludes the study guide review. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.